We have discussed about the entire alimentary canal in detail. That is the various tubular parts, anterior-most part that is mouth, posterior-most part that is what we call it as anus or inner opening. So in between structures that is pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, every part we have discussed in detail. Apart from the structures of alimentary canal, that is GI tract, we have also discussed about the two major digestive glands, and the two major digestive glands are salivary glands, and which is present in the mouth or the buccal cavity, and the second gland which is present is what we call it as gastric glands, which are present in the gastric region, that is the region of stomach. So these two are the main digestive glands, but apart from these two digestive glands, there are two accessory digestive glands also. There are two accessory digestive glands also, and the two accessory digestive glands are liver and pancreas. So in this segment we will discuss about the liver and pancreas as an important gland of digestive system, although they are not the main gland because they are not a part of digestive system, but yet these two glands, that is liver and pancreas, do help in the digestion process. So first we will discuss about the liver. So this is a rough sketch, the schematic diagram of the liver, and it is connected to the duodenum as well as pancreas part. Now first of all, liver is considered as the largest gland of our body. So liver is largest gland of our body. If we have to discuss about the weight of the liver, it is approximately 1.2 to 1.5 kilogram in weight. So it is the largest gland of the body. Weight wise it is 1.2 to 1.5 kilograms. Clear? Now the 1/40th part of our entire body weight is occupied by liver only. These are the few facts that you can remember about the liver for your extra knowledge. So 1/40th part of our body weight is occupied by liver. So it is the largest gland of our body. 1.2 to 1.5 kg is the weight of the liver. 1/40th part of our body weight is occupied mainly by the liver only. If we have to discuss about the location wise, it is located where? It is located in the abdominal cavity, that is beneath the stomach. It is located where? It is located in the abdominal cavity. In the abdominal cavity, just below the diaphragm. It is located below the abdominal cavity. It is located in the abdominal cavity beneath or below the diaphragm. Okay, this is the location of the anatomical location of liver in the human beings. Now, if we are discussing about the liver, we have to discuss about the liver ducts also, the glands and the functions of liver. So the main function of liver is to secrete bile. Main function of liver is to secrete bile. Now what is this bile and what is the role of this bile? We will discuss. But before going into the details of bile and its composition, its function, we could have the basic outline of what liver is made up of. Now, when we take a section of the liver, hepatic globules are present in the structure of the liver. The smaller structures which are present in the liver are what we call it as hepatic globules. So, liver contains hepatic globules. Liver has hepatic globules. Now, what is the meaning of this term hepatic? Hepat is a medical term for liver. So wherever you see the word hepat, it is always related to liver. Hepat is a medically worldwide used medical word for liver. So it is liver has hepatic globules. These hepatic globules has hepatic cells. Now when I am talking about the hepatic cells means the cells of liver. So let us label few hepatic cells. So these are the two lobes of the liver. One more point regarding the liver is it has two lobes. This lobe is the right lobe of liver and this is the left lobe of the liver. Clear? This is the right as well as left lobe of the liver. That's why we also call it as a bilobe structure. We also call it as bilobe structure. Actually, when we see or take a section of liver or when we observe liver from the behind, we observe these two lobes only. We observe right as well as left lobe, which are the bigger lobes. But when we lift up the liver and we see at the base part, exactly in between these two lobes, there are two smaller lobes also located. So actually liver has a total of 4 lobes, but these two bigger lobes are visible from the anterior, that is the front view. That's why we can also call it as a bilobe structure. So this is a right lobe and this is the left lobe. And at the base, in between these two lobes, two smaller lobes are also located, but they are not visible. So right as well as left lobe. Liver has hepatic globules. Hepatic globules has hepatic cells. Now there should be some sort of covering for the liver because liver is one of the most important vital organ of our body. It performs the function of producing the bile. Bile has a role to play in the digestion of fat. Liver has a function to perform. Liver performs the function of detoxification of various toxic materials. Whatever the toxic, if we are consuming, it is detoxified in liver only. So liver plays a very important role in the human body. So there should be some sort of tissue, a fibrous tissue that should cover the entire liver, just for protection only. So these hepatic globules, which contains hepatic cells, these cells are covered by a capsule, and that capsule is called as Gleason's capsule. So hepatic globules or cells are covered by a fibrous connective capsule. It is actually a fibrous connective tissue which is a capsule, and the capsule called as Gleason's capsule, and the capsule is what we call it as Gleason's capsule. So if these are the two lobes of the liver, and if we are labeling this as the hepatic lobes or hepatic globules, between the right as well as the left lobes, let us say these are the structures of hepatic globules, and this covering, let me use the blue color for the Gleason's capsule. This covering is the covering of connective tissue, and this connective tissue we label it as, this is present everywhere around the right as well as left lobe. This covering is the covering of Gleason's capsule. So far what we discussed about the liver is that it has hepatic globules. Hepatic globules contains hepatic cells, that are liver cells. Bilobe structure, right lobe as well as left lobe. Actually it is a tetralobe structure, but the two smaller lobes are not visible. We have to lift up the liver to locate these two smaller lobes. And these hepatic globules or cells are covered by a capsule, which is a fibrous connective capsule, mainly for protection purpose, protection of the liver, and the capsule is what we call it as Gleason's capsule. And this is the labeling of Gleason's capsule. Now, just now we have written that liver has a major role to play to produce something which is called as bile. Now let us discuss about the bile and the role. So, and how bile is transported from liver to some other location, that also we have to label and we have to discuss. So, liver plays an important role to produce bile. Liver produces bile. Now what is this bile? This is a yellowish green fluid. This is a yellowish green fluid. It involved in the digestion of fat, and the process by which the bile digests fat is called as emulsification. So liver produces bile. Bile is a yellowish green fluid. Liver has a capacity to produce bile only, but it does not have the capacity to store bile. Now for storing, we have some other organ, some other part, and that is what we call it as gallbladder. Gallbladder is a kind of muscular pouch or bag-like structure. So liver produces bile, which is a yellowish green fluid. This bile is stored in gallbladder. And what is this gallbladder? A muscular pouch or bag-like structure. So in this structure, this is the region of gallbladder. This is the region of gallbladder. Okay, so liver produces bile. It is a yellowish green fluid. It is stored where? A muscular bag or pouch-like structure, which we call it as gallbladder. Now, this liver is producing the bile. Bile is stored in the gallbladder. So how bile travels from liver to the gallbladder? So for that we require tubes, and the tubes are called as duct. Tubes are called as ducts. D-U-C-T-S. So if we are talking about liver, liver has the duct of liver, okay, and the duct is called as hepatic duct, because hepat is a medical term for liver. So liver has hepatic duct. Liver has hepatic, H-E-P-A-T-I-C, hepatic duct. Through this hepatic duct only, the bile is transferred to gallbladder. So now let us label hepatic duct also. So if this is the right as well as left lobe of the liver, then the very first tube which is passing, you can see this tube or the duct which is passing from the lobe of the liver is called as hepatic duct. Is called as hepatic duct. Now let us say this, the fluid which is there inside is the fluid which we call it as bile. Now this bile will go to region which we call it as gallbladder. So this is the region of gallbladder. You can see the red dots which have marked are of the bile. And who produces this bile? Liver. Now liver is hepatic duct. This is our hepatic duct. Through this hepatic duct, bile goes to the gallbladder. Okay. Now the duct of gallbladder is called as cystic duct. Duct of gallbladder is called as cystic duct. Duct of the gallbladder is called as cystic duct. Now there is a unison, or there is a combination of two ducts. Where is this cystic duct? The duct which passes from the gallbladder. So this is the only tube which is passing from the gallbladder. You can clearly see this is the tube I am talking about. This tube is called as cystic duct. C-Y-S-T-I-C. Cystic duct can also be called as bile duct, because this tube or the duct contains bile. So this is our hepatic duct which passes from the liver. This is our cystic duct which passes from the gallbladder. You can clearly see that this is the tube of gallbladder, that is the cystic duct, and this is of the hepatic duct. These tubes both meet here within this region. So there is one common connection point, and the common connection point is called as common bile duct. So when bile duct, that is nothing but cystic duct only, combines with which duct? Hepatic duct. Combines with hepatic duct, they form a structure or a duct which we call as common bile duct, which we call as common bile duct. So again, this is our hepatic duct, this is our hepatic duct. The tube which is passing from the gallbladder is called as the cystic duct. Both these tubes combine together. This entire region is the region of common bile duct. Now, this common bile duct will go where? will go into the duodenum part of small intestine, because we know that in small intestine the digestion of fat molecule takes place, and bile as a whole there in the small intestine. So you can see this C-shaped tube. If you remember from our previous discussion, this is the duodenum. This is duodenum. So see, this tube is passing towards the duodenum. Okay. Now this is the region of pancreas. This is the region of pancreas. We have not discussed anything about pancreas. Pancreas discussion will be done afterwards when we complete about the structure of the liver. So now cystic duct and this. Now let us say only this term, that is common bile duct. No hepatic duct, no cystic duct. This common bile duct opens where it has to open into duodenum. Now let us see how common bile duct opens into the duodenum part of small intestine. And why it opens in the duodenum part of small intestine? Because in the duodenum part of small intestine, fat has to be digested and bile is required in duodenum. So that's why this common bile duct opens into duodenum. Let us label common bile duct also, so that we should not be confused. So this is our common bile duct. Okay. Now this is our pancreas and this is common bile duct. Now pancreas also has its own duct through which it releases pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice has a major role to play in the digestion. So this is the duct of pancreas. You can see this tube which is passing within the pancreas, and this tube is called as pancreatic duct. This tube is called as pancreatic duct. Now there is one more duct which is again a common connection between liver and pancreas. That duct is called as hepatopancreatic duct. So there is one more duct. This is duodenum part and this is pancreatic duct. Okay. Now common bile duct opens with this pancreatic duct only. You can see this is the pancreatic duct. The secretion will be inside the duct, that is tube only, and it joins with this region, and this region will bring bile. Okay. Now you can see there is an opening here. This opening is a connection point between pancreatic duct. This is the pancreatic duct, and this is the common bile duct which is moving towards the duodenum. So this is the common bile duct, and this is the pancreatic duct. Both these ducts opens into duodenum. So from here the bile will go inside the duodenum and it will start digesting the fats. So this is about the duct system of liver. Clear? So let us write our points regarding this duct also. Pancreas has which duct? Pancreatic duct, which we already labeled. So pancreatic duct when combines with hepatitis plus means when it is combining with the common bile duct. Clear? It is combining with the common bile duct. But this common bile duct is originating from which area? From the area of liver, because that has a common connection point between this gallbladder and liver. So we can also label, or we can also write it as hepatic duct. So pancreatic duct when combined with the hepatic duct, it forms a common connection point, and that duct is called as common hepatopancreatic duct. This duct is called as common hepatopancreatic duct. This is called as hepatopancreatic duct. Now, where is the hepatopancreatic duct located within this diagram? This is the hepatopancreatic duct. So let us label this duct as hepatopancreatic duct. Clear? And when pancreatic duct combines with the hepatic duct, that duct is called as common hepatopancreatic duct. This common hepatopancreatic duct opens where? In the duodenum. Now we know that opening is always guarded by a sphincter. That sphincter is a circular muscle. Sphincter is named as sphincter of Oddi or sphincter of Oddi. So common hepatopancreatic duct, it opens into duodenum. It opens into duodenum, and this opening of common hepatopancreatic duct into duodenum is guarded by a sphincter. That sphincter is called as sphincter of Oddi. O-double-D. Clear? So this is all about the liver. This is a very important concept, an important topic to remember. So duct part I am repeating again, within a minute I will wind up. So this is the two lobes, right as well as left lobe of the liver. This is the hepatic duct which is passing from the lobe of the liver, and this hepatic duct combines with the gallbladder, and the gallbladder has a capacity to secrete something which is liver secretes bile, and the gallbladder stores bile. Okay, bile has a role to play in the emulsification of the fat, that is fat digestion. Both these combine as a common bile duct. Okay, this common bile duct enters into the pancreas, combining with the pancreatic duct, and the duct is called as common hepatopancreatic duct. Okay, this common hepatopancreatic duct opens into the duodenum. This is the C-shaped duodenum. Okay, and it is guarded by a sphincter, that is what we call it as sphincter of Oddi. That is what we call it as sphincter of Oddi. Okay. Now in the next part we will discuss about the pancreas as an important accessory digestive gland. Okay.